There are no sponsors. The people who keep it going are those of us who watch it. It means taking a little money out of our pockets, but it's a small price to pay, really.
Back in my town, where I used to stay, the name of the place, Augusta, GA.
The name of the place is Augusta, GA. And yes, this was the home of the godfather of soul, the hardest working man in show business, James Brown.
Yeah, down a sweet position. Always nice. You got a sweet position, yeah. I know you're on my side. I know that's what you're doing, baby. I know you're out of sight.
Despite this broken window at the Obama campaign headquarters in Augusta, Georgia, and the Obama campaign is not commenting on it, Barack Obama may have some reasons to be singing "I Feel Good" when he takes a look at the big picture in Georgia, the empire of the South. In an aggregate of polls, according to Real Clear Politics, John McCain is still up by 5.3. In early voting, Obama is now carrying 28% of the white vote in Georgia. He's carrying 75% of the Hispanic vote. He's way ahead with independents. All but 3% of whites in Georgia have made up their minds, but 8% of black voters still say they're undecided. So Obama may be on the way to pull a huge upset here in Georgia. We probably won't see what it means until early morning on November 5th. The counties in Georgia where Obama is doing very well are the largest. They are metro Atlanta counties like Fulton and DeKalb, which also means they are the slowest to report. Blacks are 29% of Georgia's electorate. They had a 25% share of the vote in 2004. Now they're almost 40% of early voters. McCain's double-digit lead in Georgia just a few weeks ago is slowly disappearing. At least 1.4 million people in Georgia will be early voters. That's more than double compared to 2004. Bush beat Kerry by 17 in 2004. And Georgia has not voted Democratic in 16 years. How would the Godfather rap about all this? The hardest working man in show business was a staunch Republican, but he also became an icon of the civil rights movement. Over 40 years ago, one day after Dr. King was assassinated in Memphis, on April 5th, James Brown performed an epic concert in Boston, in effect calming down the black community in Boston, in Massachusetts, and all over the US. A few months later, he came up with the epic "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud."
Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Lord, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Hey, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud.
The Godfather would be musing what is the Republican Party today, compared to the party that freed American slaves. Now the party is monopolized by a fanatic evangelical fringe. Miss Alaska, clad in 150K designer clothes, may be a nice parrot, according to British National Treasure John Cleese. But now, the nice parrot is preaching that Obama wants to impose an Orwellian communist state in the US.
Under a big government, more tax agenda, what you thought was yours would really start belonging to somebody else, to everybody else. If you thought your income, your property, your inventory, your investments were yours, no, they would really collectively belong to everybody. Barack Obama has an ideological commitment to higher taxes. Higher taxes, more government, misusing the power to tax leads to government moving into the role of some believing that government then has to take care of us. And government...
And Republicans cannot come up with anything better than demonizing Obama as a sort of postmodern evil Karl Marx figure, when Obama, in this 2001 interview, he was talking about redistribution of wealth, of course, but in the context of the civil rights movement.
If you look at the victories and failures of the civil rights movement and its litigation strategy in the court, I think where it succeeded was to vest formal rights in previously dispossessed peoples, so that I would now have the right to vote, I would now be able to sit at a lunch counter and order, and as long as I could pay for it, I'd be okay. But the Supreme Court never ventured into the issues of redistribution of wealth and sort of more basic issues of political and economic justice in the society. And to that extent, as radical as I think people tried to characterize the Warren Court, it wasn't that radical. It didn't break free from the essential constraints that were placed by the Founding Fathers in the Constitution, at least as it's been interpreted, and Warren Court interpreted it in the same way, that generally the Constitution is a charter of negative liberties, says what the states can't do to you, says what the federal government can't do to you, but it doesn't say what the federal government or the state government must do on your behalf.
An educated black man with historical consciousness and advocating social justice. That's something that the Godfather, a Republican, would endorse it. Hit it!
Donate today and receive a new documentary film available to members of the Real News Network. The History of the National Security State with legendary author Gore Vidal. Bonus features of the DVD include an in-depth response to Vidal from ex-CIA analyst Ray McGovern, who served under 7 U.S. presidents, an exclusive interview with Colin Powell's former Chief of Staff Larry Wilkerson, and an insightful interview with oil policy analyst Antonia Juhas.
The news magazine of the screen. Living glimpses of history in the making.
Hollywood and Washington is a symbiotic relationship. They both deal with illusions. Reality doesn't often play much of a part. I think I saw through the myth of the Cold War almost from the beginning. I was a Washington political kid from a political family. Roosevelt first had radio because he had this great speaking voice and everyone liked to hear. Truman proceeded to break every arrangement that Roosevelt had set up for a peaceful coexistence. And Truman thought that it would be a good idea. Why not just stay armed all the time? And then he devised the national security state. You've got to go up and swear allegiance to the United States or else you're a commie. I mean, we had imported fascism. We get Dwight Eisenhower, who said that we have this great military industrial complex. It is a dangerous thing. And he said this is going to change everything. And the way our country's governed is going to change us politically. Along comes Jack Kennedy, who wanted to make his mark, believed in the Cold War. But he said, in this kind of politics, it is the appearance of things that matters. I think everybody should take a sober look at the world about us. The national security state still exists, only it isn't communism anymore, it's terrorism. This is the most serious thing that has happened in the history of the United States. Knowledge is power. We need an honest news system.
We need the real news.
This is the sort of thing we can build right now without anyone else's permission from the government or from the business community. It's the power's in our hands.
If we're not going to sleepwalk into more wars, we think we need to start with a television news network that won't bow to pressure and has the courage to seek facts. And that means independent economics. And that's why we need you.
Make a tax-deductible donation now of at least $10 a month or a one-time give of at least $75. As a thank you for your support, we will send you the new documentary film, The History of the National Security State.